Let me tell you a story of a valet. Back in the mid-2000s, in the heart of Los Angeles, a young man spent his days and nights standing at the curbside of some of the most prestigious hotels in the world. This was a place where material appearance wasn't just important. It was the air people breathed. Every few minutes, the aristocratic fleet would arrive. Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and Rolls-Royces would purr up to the entrance, their engines humming with the sound of pure status. For this valet, it was a dream. He spent his shifts gawking at the leather, the carbon fiber, and the sheer horsepower. To him, these cars sent a powerful signal. I've made it. I'm smart. I'm rich. I have taste. But as the months turned into years, he noticed something strange. Something that would eventually change the way he understood money forever. He realized that while he was obsessed with the cars, he almost never looked at the people driving them. This is the first great irony of human psychology, and we call it the man in the car paradox. When you see someone driving a Ferrari, your subconscious mind doesn't usually think, wow, the guy driving that car is so impressive. Instead, your brain immediately skips over the person and thinks, wow, if I had that car, people would think I'm cool. We want wealth because we want to be liked and admired. We think that by buying a $200,000 car, we are buying a shortcut to respect. But the reality is that the person you're trying to impress isn't admiring you at all. They are busy using your car as a benchmark for their own fantasies of being admired. You might think you want the expensive watch or the huge house, but what you actually want is respect and admiration. The paradox is that using money to buy fancy things often brings less of it than you imagine. If your goal is to be respected, horsepower will never get you as far as humility, kindness, and empathy. To understand why this happens, we have to look at a fundamental difference that most people get wrong. We often use the words rich and wealthy interchangeably, but they're actually opposites. Let's go back to Los Angeles. The valet knew a regular guest we'll call Roger. Roger was young, successful, and drove a top-of-the-line Porsche. To anyone watching, Roger was making it. But one day, Roger showed up in an old, beat-up Honda. Then again the next week. When the valet asked what happened to the Porsche, Roger admitted, without a hint of shame, that the car had been repossessed. He had defaulted on the loan. He wasn't wealthy. He was just a Roger, someone spending a massive percentage of his paycheck to look successful while living on the razor's edge of insolvency. Wealth is what you don't see. When you see a $100,000 car, the only hard data point you have is that the owner has $100,000 less than they did before they bought it. Richness is a current income. It's the ability to buy stuff. But wealth is the money you choose not to spend. Wealth is the nice car not purchased. Wealth is the diamond not bought. Wealth is the first-class upgrade declined. Wealth is the set of options you haven't used yet. If you don't want to stay mediocre and grow your wealth with time, join our community by subscribing the channel. We often assume that if someone has a lot of money, they will always have it. But money has a funny way of disappearing when it's converted into stuff. Take the singer Rihanna. At one point, she nearly went bankrupt after overspending. When she sued her financial advisor, the advisor's response was a masterclass in common sense. Was it really necessary to tell her that if you spend money on things, you will end up with the things and not the money? It sounds like a joke, but most of us fall for this. When people say, I want to be a millionaire, what they usually mean is, I want to spend $1 million. And spending $1 million is the literal definition of no longer being a millionaire. Think of building wealth like staying in shape. Rich is like exercise. You go to the gym, you work hard, and you feel like you've earned a reward. You think, I did the work, so I deserve this 1,500-calorie burger. Asterisk wealth is like the diet. It's the self-control to turn down the treat. It's the gap between what you could eat and what you actually eat. Losing weight is hard because we overestimate how much we burn and underestimate how much we consume. Building wealth is exactly the same. It's easy to find rich role models because they are everywhere, on Instagram, in magazines, and on the street. But it's almost impossible to find wealthy role models because their success is, by definition, hidden. You can't see a neighbor's brokerage statement or their retirement account. You only see the car they didn't upgrade or the modest house they chose to stay in. Because we can't see the restraint, we don't learn how to imitate it. The world is filled with people who look modest but are actually wealthy, and people who look rich but are one paycheck away from disaster. If you want to be wealthy, you have to embrace the invisible. You have to be okay with not showing off the money you have. Wealth offers you something much better than a Ferrari. It offers you options, flexibility, and freedom. It gives you the ability to buy more stuff later, but more importantly, it gives you the ability to buy back your time today. If wealth is what you don't spend, you might be wondering, what good is it then? Why save it all? In our next video, I'm going to convince you that saving money isn't just about numbers. It's about buying the only thing that truly matters in life.